Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine waking up tomorrow in a world where the Roman Empire never collapsed. The streets are filled with people speaking a modern form of Latin. Every road, every government building, every university traces its origins back to one civilization. There is no France, no Germany, no Spain, no United States, only provinces of Rome. It sounds impossible. But for centuries, Rome looked unstoppable. At its height, it ruled roughly 70 million people, a striking share of the entire world population, and controlled territory from Britain to the Middle East and across North Africa. Its roads, its laws, and its architecture still shape our world today. For generations, people believed Rome was eternal. It wasn't. Or was it? Because history is full of moments where a single decision changes everything. Today, we're changing one. The year is 476 AD. Most history books mark this as the year the Western Roman Empire fell, when the last emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was removed by the Germanic general Odoacer. But Rome had been weakening for generations. Civil wars, crushing taxes, overstretched borders. Meanwhile, the Eastern Roman Empire in Constantinople would go on to survive for nearly another 1,000 years. Rome didn't vanish overnight. It slowly transformed. But let's imagine something different. This time, one emperor succeeds where countless others failed. Rome reforms itself. Corruption is rooted out. Commanders are promoted on skill, not politics. Taxes are balanced. The empire fortifies its borders along the Rhine and Danube and modernizes its legions. When the invasions come, they meet a united empire instead of a divided one. Battle after battle, Rome holds. No collapse, no fragmented kingdoms, no power vacuum. History has just split into a new timeline. At first, the differences are small. Markets stay open. Roads are maintained. Children still study philosophy, mathematics, and engineering. But history rarely changes all at once. It changes slowly, then suddenly. Within a single century, the ripple effects spread across Europe. Roman roads keep expanding. Merchants travel farther. Ideas move faster. Knowledge is preserved instead of lost. Quietly, the world begins accelerating toward a future no historian could have predicted. In our timeline, Rome's collapse opened a long era of instability across Europe. Trade declined. Cities shrank. Long-distance commerce grew difficult. Now imagine that collapse never happens. The Roman road network, already over 250,000 miles long, keeps expanding into the world's first continental highway system. A merchant in Britain sends goods to Egypt. An engineer in Syria trades ideas with scholars in Spain. Knowledge no longer moves at the speed of a horse. It moves across an empire. Rome's greatest strength was organization, of roads, laws, currency, and armies. Now that same discipline is applied to science. State-funded academies rise in every province. Universities appear centuries earlier than in our history. Engineering becomes one of the empire's highest callings. The ancient world already understood that steam could move things. Hero of Alexandria proved it with his Aeolipile in the 1st century. In our history, it stayed a curiosity. Here, Rome sees potential. For decades, engineers fail. Then, someone solves it. Centuries before Britain's Industrial Revolution, Rome has its own. Factories rise beside rivers. Iron production explodes. Cities grow larger than the ancient world ever imagined. But with prosperity comes ambition. With no rival European kingdoms competing for glory, the empire pours its resources into one unified goal: to cross the ocean and find what lies beyond the horizon. Thousands of navigators gather in the ports of Hispania and Britannia. The greatest voyage in human history is about to begin. The year is 1438. In our history, Columbus reached the Americas in 1492 under the Spanish crown. But here, there is no Spain. Iberia has been a Roman province for 1,000 years. The empire's greatest sailors leave the western coast, sailing for months into the unknown. Storms batter the fleet. Many believe they've reached the edge of the world. Then, land. A new continent, larger than anyone imagined, home to civilizations that had never heard the name Rome. But instead of dozens of European powers racing to claim territory, only one empire arrives. Engineers do what Romans always do. They build roads, ports, bridges, and cities rising from the wilderness. Within decades, the Atlantic becomes just another Roman highway. Generation after generation, Rome's influence spreads. Latin evolves, the way English has in our world, developing new accents and words across the provinces. But from Britain to Egypt to Brazil, everyone speaks a common language. One currency, one legal system, one civilization. Trade flourishes. Ideas move faster than ever. For the first time, humanity feels truly connected. By the 21st century, every citizen grows up learning about an empire that never fell. The writings of Marcus Aurelius, Cicero, and Seneca are still required reading. The past was never abandoned. It simply evolved. This isn't the Rome of Julius Caesar. It's the Rome of tomorrow. Artificial intelligence manages transportation across a multi-continent empire. Fusion power lights entire cities. Roman engineers build floating cities and orbital stations bearing the imperial eagle. No civilization in history has ever held this much accumulated knowledge or this much power. And that's exactly where the problems begin. Because history teaches us something uncomfortable. The stronger an empire becomes, the more dangerous it can be. When one nation rules almost the entire world, who is left to challenge it? For most of history, competition has driven innovation. Greece against Persia, Rome against Carthage, the United States against the Soviet Union. But in this world, there are no rival superpowers. There is only Rome. Wars between major powers become rare. Famine grows uncommon. Disease is contained. For billions, life has never been safer. But power has a habit of concentrating. And concentrated power always asks the same question. Who watches the people in charge? Would democracy survive an empire this large? Maybe those institutions evolve. Or maybe one central authority tightens its grip on information, on communication, on technology. Every road, every transaction, every conversation flows through systems the state controls. The empire doesn't need spies on every corner. Its technology already sees everything. Security reaches new heights, so does surveillance. Rome always absorbed other cultures, foreign gods, foods, customs, ideas. That tradition continues. Local traditions don't disappear. They evolve inside a larger Roman identity. But something is lost. Without independent nations, would the same diversity of governments and philosophies ever emerge? A single empire may be stable. It may also grow less willing to change. History is shaped by moments that seem small at the time. A battle won, a law passed, an emperor chosen. If Rome had never fallen, technology might arrive earlier, trade might expand faster, humanity might reach the stars centuries ahead of schedule. Or perhaps we'd simply trade one set of challenges for another. Because no civilization, no matter how advanced, escapes the timeless questions. How much power is too much? And how do you preserve a civilization without letting it grow stagnant? The fall of Rome didn't just end an empire. It opened the door to the world we know today, the Renaissance, the age of exploration, modern Europe, the United States, a world shaped by competing nations. Without that fall, there would have been something entirely different. So here's the question. If you had the power to rewrite history, would you save the Roman Empire? Or would you let it fall, knowing that everything we call the modern world would rise from its ashes? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey, subscribe for more cinematic what-if documentaries. Because next time, we might rewrite history all over again.